Queen Elizabeth II's dresser was not forced out of her home in Windsor and instead chose to leave to be closer to her family, a royal expert says. Angela Kelly worked for the monarch for around 30 years, but her time within the royal household ended when the Queen died last September. Get the latest royal news straight to your phone by joining our WhatsApp community. There had been talk that she was forced to leave Windsor, but the Daily Express's royal correspondent Richard Palmer, who was speaking on our Royal Roundup earlier today, said this was not the case. He says she could have stayed in her home for as long as she wanted and that King Charles has bought her a house in Derbyshire, so she can be closer to her family. Mr. Palmer said, "She's got children and grandchildren in the north of England and my understanding is she wanted to spend more time with them." He added, "The key thing, I was told, was that she could have stayed in Windsor. She could have stayed in that house in Windsor that she's had. Having retired, she could have had it for the rest of her life. So she wasn't forced out of her home." And then it subsequently transpired, well, it's certainly been reported, that the king has actually bought a house for her. It's not been made clear where the money for the house came from. "I think it will have come from the Duchy of Lancaster money, what they call the Privy Purse." He added, "I think the house will revert to the Crown when she's gone. So has bought her a retirement home up there. I think Terry's a little bit of tension because she was very close to the Queen. But I'm not sure it's as vicious and as tense as it's been portrayed." During today's episode of the Royal Roundup, he recounted a story published by a Sunday newspaper which speculated Miss Kelly might be forced out. Mr. Palmer said he then wrote a story saying she was going to leave the palace's employment, but she had not been forced out. Don't miss. Angry workman shall Vico mob out of the road in rush hour chaos, pictured, dad finds daughter, 11, dead in her room as he goes to wake her for school. Report, Eurozone economy plummets into a recession with Germany now the problem child. Analysis, news Ms. Kelly would leave her home emerged in April in a social media post. The designer posted a picture of her garden, writing, "Getting ready to say goodbye. I am moving at last to my new home, which I will be able to call my home at last." In reply to a friend, Ms. Kelly wrote she would be moving to the Peak District, that her new home was not too far away from the family and she was looking forward to new adventures. Removal vans pitched up outside Ms. Kelly's Windsor home in May and the former monarch's senior dresser looked emotional as her belongings were ushered out of the property.